Okay, let's unpack this. Tired of feeling guilty about your grocery waste? I mean, we've all been there, right? Staring at that forgotten container of limp greens or maybe half a loaf of bread that's suddenly fuzzy. And the sheer amount of information out there on sustainability, it can feel overwhelming. But today, we're cutting through the noise. We're diving deep into something really practical, really impactful, zero waste grocery shopping, and, well, broader food waste reduction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And our mission today really is to pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge from the research, offering you actionable strategies, maybe some surprising facts, stuff that resonates, with that desire for quick, thorough understanding, those aha moments.
Yeah, the takeaways.
Precisely, because this isn't just like a personal frustration. Globally, the numbers are, frankly, staggering. We're talking tons of edible food lost or wasted every single day.
Tons. Wow.
For instance, get this, around 14% of all food produced globally, it's lost just between harvest and retail, before it even gets near a shop.
14%. That's huge.
It is. And then on top of that, huge quantities are wasted at the consumer level, too, in our homes and restaurants. And this brings us to a really crucial distinction that our sources highlight. We need to kind of understand the difference between food loss and food waste.
Okay, break that down.
Sure. So food loss is what happens from harvest up to, but not including, the retail level. Think farms, transport, processing. Whereas food waste happens at the retail or consumer level, so the supermarket or in your fridge.
Got it. Loss before the store, waste in the store or after.
Exactly. And understanding that difference, it helps us target the root causes much better. It involves everyone, farmers, producers, shop owners, and us, consumers. It shows it's like a systemic challenge, not just something happening in our own kitchens.
That's a really powerful distinction. It immediately broadens the scope, doesn't it? Beyond just what we throw away. It really paints the big picture, why zero waste matters so much. And it's not just, a financial hit for you personally. Though that estimate of $1,500 worth of groceries wasted per household in the U.S. each year, that's not nothing.
Not at all.
But the environmental cost, as you hinted, is even more significant. When food gets wasted, we're also wasting all the labor, the effort, the investment. The water, seeds, animal feed, all those precious resources that went into producing it in the first place. Plus, the fuel for transport, the energy for processing, all lost too. It's this huge cascading effect.
It absolutely is. And we're connecting this to the bigger environmental picture. Wasting food directly increases greenhouse gas emissions. It's a significant contributor to climate change.
Right. Landfills, methane.
Exactly. And this ties straight into the concept of our ecological footprint, how much nature we use versus how quickly the earth can regenerate it. And our sources point out something really concerning here.
Oh.
Currently, the earth apparently takes about 18 months, a year and a half, to regenerate the resources we humans consume in just 12 months.
Wow. So we're already in ecological overdraft.
Deep in it. We're consuming way more than the earth can sustainably produce in a year. And this, it raises a really important ethical question, doesn't it? When we waste food, we're kind of disrespecting the fact that food isn't a given for the millions, literally millions of people who face hunger every day. It's a moral dimension woven right into our shopping habits.
That is. Yeah, that's a very powerful and humbling perspective. Puts my slightly sad-looking carrots in a whole new light. It really drives home that this is bigger than just saving a few quid or reducing landfill. It's about, like you said, a deeper respect for resources, for people. So speaking of taking action, doing something about it, it sounds like the journey to really tackle this starts, before we even think about grabbing our shopping bags.
Exactly. The journey to cutting down food waste. It starts long before you even leave the house.
Okay, so here's where it gets really practical, really interesting. The power of planning. Step 1, the foundation. Meal planning.
Absolutely fundamental.
You start by deciding what you'll actually eat for the week. And a good tip here is to include versatile ingredients, things you can use across several meals. Think staples, right? Rice, beans, maybe some chicken.
Things that stretch.
Exactly. And also focusing on ingredients with a longer shelf life, canned veg, frozen stuff, grains, gives you that bit more flexibility if plans change.
Right. And once you have that plan, that meal plan.
Then the shopping list becomes your absolute go-to tool. You mentioned sources talking about this.
Yeah, our sources indicate that households using a shopping list and actually sticking to it can cut their food waste by up to 25%.
25%?
Just from a list.
It's significant. It shows how a simple, consistent habit, something maybe seemingly basic can have a huge impact on household waste. And your budget, obviously.
And it doesn't need to be fancy.
Yeah.
Scrap paper, a note on your phone, whatever works. Whatever works for you. And tying right into that list is buying the right quantities.
Ah, yes. Resisting the BOGO trap.
Exactly. Bulk buying can seem like a great deal, cost-wise, but it often leads to spoilage if you don't manage it really carefully. So a good rule of thumb, especially for perishable things like fresh produce or dairy, is to only buy what you're pretty confident you can use within, say, the next 7 to 10 days.
The 7-10-day rule, that feels achievable.
It directly tackles that consumer-level food waste, stops those forgotten things turning green in the back of the fridge.
Okay, that makes sense. So you've got your plan, your list, you know roughly how much to buy. Now, how do you pick the right places to shop? And how do you gear up for it?
Good question.
Uh,
To really maximize your efficiency and your zero-waste impact, the idea is to try and narrow your shopping trip down to maybe 2 key locations if you can.
2 spots.
Yeah. First, maybe a farmer's market or a local farm stand.
Right, direct from the source.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You'll often find fruit, veg, eggs. Frequently, without packaging or those annoying stickers, sometimes they even have returnable cartons for eggs. This is brilliant for tackling food loss, too, by shortening that whole supply chain.
Less travel time, less handling.
Precisely. And farmers are usually really receptive, happy to help when you show up prepared with your own bags and containers.
Yeah,
It builds that community connection, too.
I like that. It makes it feel less like just a transaction. Does that connection actually help people stick with these habits, do you think?
I think it absolutely can. That transparency, that relationship, it can be a massive motivator. So that's spot number 1, potentially. For everything else, look for a store that has a really good bulk section. Maybe Don't Bakery, a deli counter.
Like a food co-op or health food store sometimes.
Often, yes, those are great options. And of course, try to pick places that are geographically close, for convenience.
Yeah.
Makes it easier to stick to.
Makes sense.
And then it's all about prepping your toolkit. The good news is you can reduce waste and save money just by using stuff you probably already have. Reusable bags, obviously. Sturdy ones you can wash. They're essential.
Got plenty of those hiding somewhere.
Dig them out. And containers. They're the real game changers. Think glass jars, metal tins, reusable produce bags. For bulk items, mason jars are super popular. The 32-ounce or 16-ounce wide-mouth ones. Apparently, the 32-ounce jar has an easy-to-remember tare weight about 1 pound, which is handy.
Oh, that is handy. Tearaway. We'll come back to that.
We will. Lock containers are great, too. Really watertight, durable. You can even repurpose old plastic tubs, the ones from Olive Bars or whatever, or Pyrex glass containers for meat or cheese from the deli.
So lots of options using what you have.
Definitely. Oh, and don't forget something to write with. A erasable marker, maybe a crayon or just a pen for marking PLU numbers or tare weights on your bags or jars.
Right, the little details that make it work smoothly at the checkout. What about home delivery? So convenient, but the packaging.
Yeah, that's the downside. They often come with a mountain of packaging. But you can be proactive.
How so?
Well, it's worth asking. Some companies are actually starting to respond to customer requests for packaging-free, or at least reduced packaging deliveries.
Yeah.
So, ask the question. You might be surprised.
Worth a shot. Okay, so we've planned, we've prepped our toolkit, we're ready to face the aisles, we've covered all that crucial prep work before you even leave. But the real test, maybe where the most exciting zero-waste wins happen, is when you're actually in the store.
It really is. That's where the theory meets practice.
Okay, first stop, produce. Pretty straightforward here. Choose the loose stuff, the naked fruit and veg, over the plastic-wrapped options whenever you can.
Obvious first step.
Use your own reusable produce bags for smaller things, or for bigger items like melons or cabbage, just skip the bag altogether. They have their own natural packaging.
Makes sense.
Then the bulk department. You mentioned this is a big opportunity.
Huge. Bulk products are often cheaper, partly because you're not paying for fancy packaging. And the key is you can use your own container. You just need to get its tare weight first.
Okay, explain tear.
Tare is simply the weight of your empty container. You usually take it to customer service, or sometimes there's a scale near the bulk bins, and they weigh it and mark it for you. That way, when you fill it up and go to pay, they subtract the container's weight, so you only pay for the product inside.
Smart. So you're not paying for your fancy glass jar.
Exactly. Then you fill it up carefully. Try not to let your container actually touch the dispenser spout for hygiene. And crucially, remember to note down the PLU number.
The little code for the product.
Yeah, the product lookup code. You write that on your jar or a tag so the cashier knows what's inside and can charge you correctly.
Got it. Tear, fill, note the PLU.
And what's really amazing is the variety you can find in bulk these days. It's not just lentils and rice anymore.
Oh, really?
Our sources talk about potentially over 500 different items. Your staples, yes, pasta, rice, beans, nuts, flours, spices, honey, cooking oils, but also things like wellness products, hand soap, shampoo refills, and home goods like dish soap or laundry detergent, even pet food.
Wow. Okay. So you could cover a lot of your shopping list just in that one section.
You really could. And the beauty is you buy exactly how much you need. A tiny bit of a spice or a whole lot of oats, great for tackling potential food waste from buying too much.
That flexibility is key. Okay. So bulk is big. What about other parts of the store? The bakery, the deli.
Same principle applies. At the bakery or maybe a juice bar, bring your own cup for coffee, smoothies, whatever. You might even get a little discount some places offer, like 25 cents off.
Nice. Every little bit helps.
And just remember to say no thanks to plastic straws or those little stir sticks. Small things. At the deli counter or the salad bar, use your own container for prepared foods, soups, salads. Just ask the staff for help. They'll usually tear it for you behind the counter.
So just ask politely.
Exactly. And bring your own utensils if you're grabbing something to eat on the go. Then finally, when you get to the register, choose the no receipt option if you don't need it. Bring your own shopping bags, obviously, again, sometimes you save maybe 5 cents a bag, or grab a free cardboard box if they have them. These little habits, they really add up.
They do. It's about building that mindset.
And while you're making these choices, navigating the aisles,
Yeah.
really try to prioritize local products when you can. What's really significant here and fascinating is that buying local isn't just about reducing packaging, though it often helps with that. It offers this whole package of benefits.
Like what?
Well, flavor, for starters. Crops are picked when they're actually ripe, not weeks early for shipping. They generally have more nutrients, too, because there's less time between harvest and your table for degradation.
Makes sense. Fresher is better.
Right. And it directly supports your local economy. That money stays close to home, gets reinvested locally. Environmentally, it helps maintain farmland, green spaces nearby, and drastically cuts down on pollution from long-distance transport. Food miles,
Big impact there.
Plus, food safety. Fewer steps between the farm and you means less chance for contamination and transparency. You can often actually talk to the grower, ask them how the food was produced.
That connects back to the farmer's market idea, building that trust.
Exactly. It's a whole ecosystem of benefits.
Okay, so we've navigated the store, toolkit in hand, prioritizing local and package-free where possible. We get our carefully chosen groceries home. So what does this all mean for what happens next? Because getting it home is only half the battle, right? This is where storage becomes crucial.
Absolutely critical. Proper food storage is honestly one of the easiest but most powerful ways to prevent that avoidable food waste.
And one strategy our sources mention sounds simple but effective. First in, first out. FIFO.
Classic stock rotation.
Right. It's just a fancy way of saying, use up the older stuff first. Move those yogurts near their date to the front of the fridge shelf. Put the new loaf of bread behind the older one.
Simple, but it works. Also, use airtight containers. They're your best friend for keeping leftovers, grains, pantry staples fresh for longer. And clear containers are great because you can actually see what's inside. No more mystery boxes.
Guilty as charged on mystery boxes. Okay, clear containers. Good tip.
And knowing your produce helps a ton. It's not one size fits all for storage. Some fruits, like apples, do best kept cool in the fridge. Others, like bananas or tomatoes, actually prefer room temperature.
Right, putting tomatoes in the fridge makes them mealy, doesn't it?
It does. Store leafy greens, like lettuce or spinach, maybe wrapped in a slightly damp cloth or paper towel inside a bag, keeps them crisp. Herbs like cilantro or parsley, you can stand them up in a glass of water like a little bouquet in the fridge.
Oh, I've seen that.
And that tip about ethylene gas is a good one, too. Some fruits, like bananas, avocados, apples, release ethylene gas as they ripen, which can make other nearby produce spoil faster.
So keep your bananas away from your berries.
Exactly. Keep the ethylene producers separate from sensitive items like berries, leafy greens, carrots to prevent them ripening too quickly. It's a simple bit of food science that reduces waste.
That's genuinely useful. Okay, and what about labels? Those best before and use by dates cause so much confusion.
Huge confusion and unnecessary waste. It's vital to know the difference. Best before is about quality. The food might not be at its absolute peak after that date, maybe slightly less crunchy or the flavor faded a bit, but it's generally still safe to eat.
So use your senses, look, smell, maybe a tiny taste.
Exactly. Trust your judgment. Use by, on the other hand, is about safety. You'll see this on foods that go off quickly, like meat or ready-prepared salads. You should stick to the use-by date.
Okay, that's a clear distinction. Best before quality, use by safety. Don't automatically bin stuff past its best before.
Please don't.
Right, so we've stored things properly. But even then, sometimes we just don't get around to eating it all. What about extending the life of things even further?
This is where your freezer becomes your absolute best friend. It's an incredibly powerful tool for pausing time, essentially. Freeze leftovers, soups, stews, sauces, cooked grains, bread, even cooked meats. Just pop them in airtight, dated containers or bags. Future you will thank you.
Future me loves finding ready-made meals in the freezer.
Doesn't everyone? And think about meal prepping or batch cooking. Like, roast a whole chicken on Sunday. You can have roast dinner, then use leftovers for sandwiches, salads, or boil the carcass for amazing stock. One ingredient, multiple meals.
Smart. Less waste, less cooking during the week.
Exactly. Or make a big casserole or lasagna, divide it into portions, and freeze them. Reduces waste and saves time on busy days. And definitely get creative with those bits that might otherwise get tossed. Food waste recipes.
Like banana bread from overripe bananas.
Classic example. Or stale bread for croutons or breadcrumbs. Vegetable scraps, onion skins, carrot peels, celery ends make fantastic broth. Just simmer them in water.
Waste not, want not, basically.
Pretty much. It's about seeing potential where you used to see trash.
Okay, but some things are just unavoidable waste, right? Like inedible peels, coffee grounds, eggshells.
Yeah.
What's the best approach there?
That's where composting comes in. It's such a powerful way to turn that unavoidable waste back into a valuable resource. You're not just diverting it from landfill, which is good in itself.
Reduces methane again.
Right. But you're actually creating nutrient-rich compost for your garden or houseplants. It closes the loop, returns nutrients to the soil, and reduces your carbon footprint in a way that just throwing away can't.
How do you get started with composting? Is it complicated?
It doesn't have to be. You can get a compost bin or even just make a pile. The basic idea is to layer your greens, the kitchen scraps like fruit peels, veg scraps, coffee grounds, eggshells with browns, dry stuff like dried leaves, cardboard, paper. Keep it slightly moist, turn it occasionally to get air in. Just generally avoid adding meat, dairy, or oily foods because those can attract pests and get smelly.
Got it. Greens and browns, keep it moist, turn it, avoid meat and dairy.
And another simple habit, tying back to storage, when you're unloaded your groceries. Arrange your fridge so the things that need using up soonest are right at the front, visible.
Back to that FIFO idea.
Yeah. And then this is key for maintaining the habit. As soon as you've unpacked, put your clean, used reusable bags and containers right back into your main shopping bag. Make them ready for the next trip immediately.
Ah, so you don't forget them next time. Smart.
Reduces that I left the bags at home moment.
We've all had that moment. Okay, so we've covered the kitchen, but these principles, this mindset, it extends beyond our own shopping cart and fridge, doesn't it? Into broader impact community.
Absolutely. It's about shifting our whole relationship with food and resources.
Like cultivating a deeper respect for food. You mentioned reconnecting with production, getting to know farmers.
Yes, understanding where food comes from, the effort involved, it naturally fosters respect and makes you less likely to waste it. And our dietary choices themselves play a huge role. Our sources point this out quite clearly.
How so?
Well, simply eating more pulses, beans, lentils, chickpeas, and vegetables makes a difference. Maybe trying one meal a week based on pulses or ancient grains like quinoa or millet. The livestock industry, for instance, generates more greenhouse gas emissions globally than the entire transport sector combined.
Wow, more than all the cars, planes, ships.
According to the data, yes. And research suggests vegetarians tend to have about half the ecological footprint of meat eaters. Now, that doesn't mean everyone needs to go fully vegetarian overnight, but even occasional meatless meals, choosing less resource-intensive proteins more often. It makes a significant cumulative difference.
That's a really tangible link between our plate and the planet, and water conservation is another huge piece of this puzzle, right?
Massive. Food production is incredibly water-intensive. So when you reduce food waste, you're automatically saving all the embedded water it took to grow, process, and transport that food.
The hidden water footprint.
Exactly. And beyond food waste, you can directly conserve water at home, too. Simple things. Fix leaky taps. Turn off the water while brushing your teeth. Only run washing machines and dishwashers when they're truly full. And here's a surprising one from our sources. Choose tea over coffee sometimes. Producing coffee beans generally takes significantly more water than growing tea leaves.
Huh. Never thought about the water footprint of my morning cuppa.
It all adds up.
And one more thing on waste disposal. It's really important to remember hazardous waste, things we definitely shouldn't just chuck in the regular bin.
Critically important. We're talking batteries, paints, old mobile phones, unused medicines, chemicals, fertilizers, old tires, ink cartridges. These items contain substances that can be really harmful if they end up in landfill. They can leach into the soil, contaminate groundwater. The very resources we rely on for food production, they should never go in your regular rubbish bin.
So always look for proper disposal methods, local council collections, recycling points.
Absolutely. Check your local council website. They'll have information on how to dispose of hazardous waste safely.
Okay, so moving beyond just reducing our own waste, how can we contribute collectively? Thinking about community action.
Great question. Sharing is a fantastic way to have an impact. If you have unopened, non-perishable food you know you won't use, donate it. Local food banks, shelters, organizations like Feeding America do incredible work getting surplus food to those who need it.
Prevents waste and helps people. Win-win.
Definitely. And there are even apps popping up now that connect neighbors or local cafes and shops with surplus food at the end of the day, allowing people to buy it cheap or share it. It's tackling food loss and waste at a community level.
That's brilliant. Using tech for good.
Yeah. And on a personal level, try tracking your household food waste for a week or two. Just keep a little journal or use an app. It really highlights your own patterns. What are you throwing away most often? That helps you target your efforts.
Makes you accountable.
It does, and involve the whole family. Get kids involved in meal planning, maybe even some simple cooking. It teaches them the value of food early on. You could even try like a zero-waste week challenge as a family or household.
Make it a game.
Exactly. And if we connect all these actions, these small changes in our daily habits, back to that bigger picture we started with, they really can add up to make a huge global impact. They contribute towards a world with less hunger and show more respect for our planet's finite resources. That's really what the International Day of Awareness of Food Loss and Waste, held every September 29th since 2020, is all about, that global call to action.
So there you have it. That was quite the deep dive into transforming how we shop for groceries and handle food waste. From that careful planning before you even leave the house, through smart shopping strategies in the aisles, to creative storage, and really valuing what you buy. And thinking about community. It's clear, isn't it, that our choices really do stack up. They make a difference in our wallets, yes, but much more importantly, for our planet and for people worldwide.
It really does all connect. And perhaps this leaves us with a final thought, a question to mull over. What if we shifted our thinking even further? Not just focusing on reducing waste, but on actively valuing every single resource that goes into everything we consume. Really internalizing that idea that often the most environmentally friendly product is the one that never gets made in the first place. What if we integrated that kind of deep awareness, that wisdom, into every decision we make, not just in our kitchens, but, well, in all aspects of our lives?